MrBeast's diamond play button is for sale on eBay. YouTube channel Smosh is owned by Smosh again. And YouTube are stopping the Creator Awards program. All this and more coming up in today's episode of YouTube News. And now for our first story. Large YouTube streamer Ludwig recently did a charity raffle/auction where he gave away famous items from his videos, including his gold play button. Now this is a very special award because it was given to him by the former CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki. And I really wanted it, so I was there watching the raffle.
I think somebody said JackSucksAtLife is here. He's going for his 30,000th gold play button. Godspeed to you.
But spoiler alert, I did not win the raffle. It was given to some fellow called Justin.
Congratulations to Justin
Congrats,
Brown.
Justin.
Woo! You are the proud owner of a gold plaque.
Justin, if you're watching, you know where to find me. Congratulations to Ludwig for raising over $100,000 for Make-A-Wish. And now for our next story. YouTube's largest Minecraft content creator, Dream, deletes his face reveal. The video did have well over 50 million views, making one of the most viewed deleted videos in YouTube history. Now, speaking of Dream, right after the previous YouTube news, Dream released a YouTube short where he unveiled a 30 million custom play button. Now, it turns out this award was not from YouTube, it was actually part of an April Fool's prank. However, about a month ago, Dream messaged me and asked me if I wanted the award. So obviously, I said yes, and I'm going to unbox it at the end of this video. Speaking of big fans of YouTube awards, giant kids channel ChuChuTV recently unveiled their official 50 million subscriber play button. As you can see, this is a custom award modeled after a kids TV. And I think this looks very cute, but it does make you wonder, why are YouTube giving certain channels 50 million awards when channels like MrBeast and Dude Perfect have to make their own? And I think I know the answer to this. This is just a theory, but ChuChuTV is based in India, and I think that the Indian version of YouTube are just putting way more into things like awards. You saw in the last episode they gave Age Tech a 20 million award. We saw them give T-Series a 200 million award. So I think it's the Indian division of YouTube are just more into awards than the US version of YouTube. But my personal consensus is that if a channel gets 50 million subscribers, just send them an award. Doesn't matter where they live, just give everyone awards. Surely that creates less drama for YouTube. Now, speaking of YouTube not giving out awards, YouTube are also cancelling the silver and gold play buttons. YouTube channel Jaron tweeted out this screenshot showing that YouTube refused to send him his gold play button because too many channels are surpassing these milestones these days thanks to the success of YouTube Shorts. However, guess what? This is completely fake news. Many YouTubers, including myself, fell for this screenshot, but YouTube responded directly to the tweet, saying that the message was fake and they have no plans to stop giving creators awards. Looking back at the screenshot, the clue is that it says play buttons, and this is a phrase that YouTube never actually use themselves. They always just describe them as Creator Awards. Continuing the fake news theme, YouTube channel Panimal tweeted out that YouTube sent him a silver award instead of a gold one for surpassing 1 million subscribers. However, after analysing this image, I discovered a teeny tiny bit of gold over on the left there, which basically suggests that this was photoshopped to black and white. And Panimal even confirmed the image was a troll in one of my videos. Do not believe things you read on Twitter. Now, at the start of this episode, you may have noticed I used the phrase former CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki. So if Susan's left the building, then who's replaced her? Well, it's this fella. He's called Neal Mohan, and he's been working at YouTube for over 15 years, and he actually led YouTube Music, YouTube Premium, and even YouTube Shorts. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what positive changes Neal has planned for the platform, and speaking of changes, a new CEO means slightly new YouTube letters. These are the letters you get when you unbox a YouTube Creator Award, and you will see at the bottom that they are signed by the CEO, which means the next time I get one of these, we'll hopefully get a letter from Neal. I believe Oddity Prodigy was the first person to get a metal letter with Neal's name at the bottom. Now, before we move on, Neal, if you're watching, please can we do something cool together? Susan collabed with loads of YouTubers. She never got back to any of my emails. Maybe you could, like, hand sign the new letter for one of my future awards or something. I'm not expecting a lot, just something would be cool. Okay, thank you. And now for some very exciting news for YouTube history. Smosh is owned by Smosh again.
We own Smosh.
So if you don't know much about Smosh, they are possibly the most OG YouTube channel that exists. They're literally the first channel to get to 1,000 subscribers all the way back in 2005. Like, that is mental to think about. The biggest YouTubers on the platform had 1,000 subscribers. That's epic. They were also the first YouTube channel to get 100,000 subscribers back in 2007 and the first channel to get 10 million subscribers back in 2013. So they are by far the most OG YouTube OGs out there. However, back in 2011, the two creators creators of Smosh, Ian and Anthony, sold the channel and the brand to a company called Defy Media. This brought lots of opportunities and funding for Smosh. They managed to do lots of cool stuff like a movie, but it also created a lot of stress, and that's why one of the original co-creators, Anthony Buy, eventually decided to leave altogether back in 2017. However, a few years later, Defy Media closed down without any warning. Smosh was saved and purchased by Rhett and Link, but then just a few weeks ago, Smosh was sold back to the original creators, Ian and Anthony, so they are now in control of their own brand once again, which is epic. I was a big fan of Smosh when I was growing up. I went back to my YouTube history and I found a bunch of videos that I was watching in 2012, so it is just so nice to see Ian and Anthony back in control. Moving on to emoji play buttons. You see that tiny little dot up there? That's an emoji. A few months ago on this channel, we confirmed that emoji play buttons were a real thing that you could ask for and receive, and since then many other YouTubers have gotten their own emojis printed on play buttons. I believe that Chilling with Rachel was the first channel to get an emoji printed on a gold play button, and now exciting news for the YouTube Partner Program. Previously, to get monetized on YouTube, which means make money on YouTube, you needed at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. However, that was recently reduced to just 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time, or 3 million views from shorts in the last 90 days. So that basically means it's now slightly easier for small channels to start making money, which is always nice. Now, before we talk about MrBeast's Diamond Play Button, let's talk about MrBeast. Recently, Jimmy surpassed Cocomelon in subscribers, making him the second biggest channel on YouTube. Only T-Series left. I used to think it was an impossible prospect that Jimmy would become the #1 biggest YouTube channel, but since the new audio tracks feature, which makes channels completely interactive, and the fact that loads of Jimmy's shorts are just getting mental views these days, there is potential that in the not-so-far future, he could overtake T-Series and become the biggest channel, which is absolutely mental. And now for our top story! You may remember in the last YouTube news, we discussed MrBeast's Diamond Play Button giveaway, and how a fella called Dor on Tour was the winner. In his unboxing, we saw that Jimmy had written, "I bet Jack buys this" on the back of the award, but then Dor later said this.
"Let me tell you, Jack, you're not buying this. It's mine."
Well, a few months later, Dawes asks me if I would like to buy it after all. However, unfortunately, he wants more money than I'm able to budget, and they wiped my name off the back too. But that does mean this MrBeast award is now officially open to offers from anybody, and Daw even briefly put the award on eBay before the listing was later removed. So if you've got more money than I do, send him a message. Speaking of me, YouTuber JackSucksAtLife recently leaked in an interview that he is getting Pewdiepie's 100 million award finally repaired. It's gone back to Society Awards.
No way.
As you probably know, PewDiePie's award broke back in 2019, and then it broke even more when it was sent to me, but I have managed to get the original manufacturers, Society Awards, to agree to fix it for me. So the award is currently back with them in New York. If you want to be one of the first people to see it when it is fixed, make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Okay, let's unbox this dream 30 million subscriber play button. This is exciting. I can't believe he's just sent it to me. Oh, I see a grass block. Gently scoop it out. Oh, looks good. Whoa, the grass block is separate. Ah, but it looks like I could just place it on top. Oh my god, look at that. Dream, #1 Minecraft YouTuber, and you can see he signed it as well. Well, that goes on my shelf. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dream, and thank you for watching this edition of YouTube News. I've been your host, JackSucksAtLife, and I'll see you later.